Welcome back to the stage, Bill Hardy.
So before we proceed with the next award, I'd like to take some time to thank our volunteers and sponsors. All of the beautiful plants you see here tonight are from Lakeland and Atlantic. And to all of our other sponsors this evening, Caterpillar, John Deere, Hort Protect, Landscape Management Network, Toro, Intrigue Media, Stanley Black & Decker, Landscape Trades, Fenchurch, Zurich, Staples, Nutrilon, and Equinox. Thanks very much. I'd like to also thank the volunteers who dedicated many hours evaluating the awards. You've seen the projects. It is many hours. We have the pleasure of having two of them joining us here this evening, so if we could get them to stand. So 7 volunteers spent literally hours pouring through those awards to pick the Circle of Excellence and then come up with the winners, which we'll hear about later. Next, on behalf of the CNLA executive, I have the honor of presenting a President's Award. And this is going to be a little bit weird because most, especially if I don't mess it up, most of you in the room will not have a clue who I'm talking about. Some of you will catch on pretty quick. The weird part is the person that I'm going to be speaking about will figure out the first sentence. So with that being said, and I'm relying a lot on memory here, I don't remember some of the early days at the BCNTA, but I know at the time I was staff. And I think it was 1992, and this is another weird thing. I can't remember lunch yesterday, but I remember some things really vividly. The landscape commodity meetings for the BCNTA at the time, this is BCLNA now, BCNTA at the time, were held at Mother Tucker's in Coquitlam. I don't even, do Mother Tucker's even exist anymore? So anyway, back to the stupid picture in my head. Northwest corner of the restaurant, kind of dark, not as bright as this. 3 people lined up that were there to present the results of a trip that they made to California to look at the landscape certification program. And they pitched that landscape certification program to the Landscape Commodity Group, and the Landscape Commodity Group approved it and endorsed it. That then went to the board of the BCNTA, and it was approved there. So in BC, I think we built the first, over the next several months, built the first dedicated certification site for landscape certification at the time, which back then, that was before we had a lot of involvement with Red Seal and everything. It was a big deal. So we did that. Sorry, Mark, I remember the night before the first test, we were still building the greenhouse, and there was like 5 or 6 of us people out there, myself as staff and volunteers. And 1 or 2 of us maybe might have been standing in a skid steer bucket to put the purlings on the last greenhouse. We got the greenhouse built in time for the test the next day, but it had no roof on it, but we were getting close. And then we spent a bunch of time after that. I think the next test we did was Truro here in the west, on the East Coast, and then Alberta, and then Ontario, and we kept adding and adding. And thanks to the leadership of the certification committees and everything at the time, we became pretty well respected North American wide. And we did tests all over the place, like proctoring the test. They called it proctoring the test at the time. And I think that I got the really wonderful ones like Dryden, Ontario. This individual, I think, went to Hawaii once and did a bunch of really nice US trips as well. So that progressed. We kept moving along. I did make some notes. I'm going to pull it up here so I don't mess it up too badly. And the Canadian contingent, which included this gentleman and a bunch of others, became really, really respected at the US Certification Committee, to the point where we used to go down and tell them how to do things. So it was wonderful. That was when I was staff. I left that after a while, and I went to manage a large garden center, and I dragged this individual back in on a couple of projects. Couldn't leave him alone, I guess. we did a landscape garden giveaway, $25,000 garden giveaway for in partnership with the Vancouver Sun, the big newspaper on the West Coast. And at the time, that was the most successful contest they ever held. And this gentleman, he didn't even get to design the garden. I picked somebody else for that. It was kind of bad after the fact. But anyway, but he built that frickin' garden 3 times in 3 different locations. And it was amazing. So we had some other adventures. We tried patenting a ceramic paver at one point. I still think that was a good idea. I'm really annoyed that it didn't happen. But so anyway, he progressed from BCNLA, the local provincial, to become the certification chair nationally. Again, kind of just, still working on things. And then, as was kind of the routine at the CNLA level, certification went to Landscape Canada chair. So he went to Landscape Canada chair next, and then he went on to the executive. So he was a long string of time with both the BCLNA and the CNLA. And, sometimes there was some rough patches there, but the thing I always admired most was he was so steady and so calm and so just reserved, laid back. He didn't drink much, so wasn't that. So I always had a hard time figuring that out, but I figured it out a little bit later in life because while he was doing this kind of stuff for the associations, he had 4 daughters and a wife at home. I don't know if they would agree that he was always calm, cool, and collected, but maybe just getting out, involved in something else, made him calm, cool, and collected. So, and now I still get the family postcard at Christmas time, and they need a wide-angle lens, and the people are really small to get the whole family with all the grandkids and everything on the postcard. It's quite amazing. So I'll wrap it up here really quickly. One of the sayings in life that I always heard was, you are the average of your 5 closest friends. And there's been some times in my life where if I had to do it again, I'd pick 6 different friends. But I can't say that because this person is a friend, a colleague, and a mentor. Bruce Hunter.
Thank you all. Wow. Kind of blown away, Bill, bringing me into tears here. Whew. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I look out into a room like this, and it always impresses me. Our industry is beautiful. We inspire people. We move people. We help people. We give them places to live in. We give them places to rejoice in, rejuvenate in. And the industry moves forward because of volunteerism, and especially the CNLA staff. Like, hands up to the CNLA staff, please. They make all of this so effective. But I just want to thank everyone in this industry for giving their passion, because this room is full of passion, and it starts with the passion of our clients. They want these amazing spaces to live in. We have the designers to fulfill those dreams. We have the people in the booths, the people in the machines to build it, the supervisors, the coordinators, the designers, the growers, the retailers, to put all of them mixed together to make it all happen, and our industry is growing. And it's fantastic. So thank you for my recognition.
Thank you.